Today, we're in Sentosa, where billionaires park their yachts, then later reside to their ocean view penthouses. This shows the richest of Singapore. So, how has housing changed over the years? Behind me are some condominiums. The first one was built in 1976 and costed approximately $5,000 a month. Nowadays, they are the most popular form of private housing and can cost up to $50,000 a month. So, what makes condominiums so desirable to live in?
When condominiums first arrived in Singapore, they were extremely sociable communities. With features such as swimming pools and gymnasiums, this meant that residents were always communicating with each other. These apartments in these condos usually consisted of 4+ rooms, hot running water, and constant electricity. Of course, these apartments were usually a higher grade of living than HDBs. Nowadays, these apartments and condos usually follow the same mindset and are always sociable places.
Sentosa has a large number of private housing. This portion is also the most expensive due to its prime location and scenery.
Singapore has always upheld the idea of luxurious housing. Now we look at the opposite end of the spectrum and at HDBs. Hello, we are here in the area of Holland. Behind us are some HDBs, also known as Housing Development Boards. The first HDBs were built in 1936. From there, over 1.1 million blocks have been built all across Singapore. HDBs were first built in the 1936. From there, over 1.1 million houses have been built all the way throughout Singapore. A really attractive aspect of living in HDBs is the fact of how sociable and communicable they are. A lot of HDBs have MRTs, schools, shop houses all around them. This ensures that children from the same HDBs could also be in the same school. HDBs were first built as the Singapore government saw a clear need for good, proper housing. After Singapore left the state of Malaya in 1965, there was hardly any good housing. Most housing were in swamplands, or also known as kampongs. So the government decided to change all of this, and they set up an organization called HDBs. The point of an HDB was to build cheap, efficient, good housing for Singapore residents to live in. Currently, 80% of Singapore's citizens live in HDBs. The other 20% live in private housing. At first, HDBs started off as 4 stories high. Now, some of them rise up to 40 stories high. HDBs are, of course, extremely affordable, so that all citizens of Singapore can afford to live here. Currently, to rent a middle-sized apartment, it costs only $1,200 a month. To conclude, Singapore's housing has changed in many ways. However, it has also stayed the same in many ways. Singapore's public housing has not changed much. It has always upheld the idea of sociable communities. It might have grown a bit, but it is mainly still the same. On the other hand, of private housing, it has changed quite a bit. Nowadays, it tries to uphold the idea of Western ideas to appeal to more of the rich expat residents in Singapore. To conclude, Singapore's housing has definitely not stayed the same. From kampongs all the way to HDBs, and from small apartments to tall skyscrapers.